Salisbury Center, we are live, broadcasting worldwide right now at CageZilla.com. We have 10 action-packed fights scheduled for you this evening, and this is a Pro-Am card, so that means we have pro fights at the end of the night. You'll want to stick around for that. My name is Chris Fuller. I'm going to be your ring announcer and ringside commentator for this evening. I'm joined by my friends up in the booth over there. That's Chris Ahrens. He is an expert at play-by-play. You've seen him on esports and pro wrestling, and he is also doing some football stuff now, and we also have our Spanish broadcasters with us this evening, so say hello to them if you see them walking around. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask everybody to please rise, and gentlemen, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, I also wanted to mention we have current pro fighter, CageZilla veteran, and current coach at Kaizen MMA up in the booth with us this evening too. That's Liam Pinero. Make sure you guys say hi to him. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone in attendance here at the Salisbury Center, fueled by Monster Energy, and everybody watching worldwide at CageZilla.com, it's time to unleash the beast. Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Dustin Callender.
Hello, friends, and welcome to CageZilla 79 here in the beautiful Salisbury Event Center. We are looking at our first fight of the evening between Dustin Callender and Blake Correa. 33 years old, Dustin Callender is walking to the ring right now, standing at a strong 5'10". He's 1-1 fighting out of Ground Control Academy.
Now, Dustin Callender has missed weight for this bout. This was scheduled to be a lightweight 155-pound bout, but Dustin missed by 3 pounds coming in. Talking to Dustin, he's still trying to figure out the MMA weight cut. His first bout here at CageZilla was at the featherweight division. He missed that bout by 1.4 pounds. He decided to move up to the lightweight weight class, but talking to him backstage, he just said, I came in too heavy. I'm still figuring this process out. As a coach, I actually gave him some advice in terms of I heard about his weights. He belongs in the lightweight division. He's a big boy out of camp, and that first TKO victory over Austin Bagley at CageZilla 71 is because he does have some dense bones and power behind those hands. But he does need to figure out the process, and it's going to be a mission for his next bout coming up. He's very excited. He's wrestled his whole life. He has a bunch of kickboxing smokers. For those who don't know, that's your initial exhibition performances. He does not like BJJ, although. So he's looking to dominate the wrestling, put hands on his opponent. Now let's throw it back to Chris to introduce the other fighter.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Blake Correa.
Blake Correa is 23 years old, a full 10 years younger than Dustin Callender. He's fighting out of the MMA Institute, but similarly is just starting in his MMA career. He stands at 1-0, and his height is 5'11".
Blake Correa, credit to him, he actually just earned his blue belts between his debut and now. He has had a grappling super fight. I love super fights for young amateur fighters, even developing pro fighters, because you get to go through a similar one fight match preparation. It's different anxieties than if you have a tournament, different strategies than if you have a tournament. He is ecstatic. He considers himself a well-rounded MMA fighter. Right now we have a wrestler who has very powerful hands. Both are from very esteemed academies. Ground Control in Maryland produces UFC-grade talent. MMA Institute has been a staple in Virginia MMA, producing high-level amateur, high-level pro talent. So these are two gyms that understand how to develop fighters. I think this is actually a great match in two young guys where you get a wrestler with heavy hands, you get a probably more skilled tactician in the submission grounds, but hasn't been wrestling his whole life. Who can control where this fight goes is a big interest to me. Let's throw it back to Chris to get this fight started.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla Amateur Lightweight Division. It is brought to you by our friends at Sand Screen Printing, turning ink into art. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'10" and weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of Ground Control Academy with a record of 1 win and 1 defeat, it's Dustin Callender. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'11" and weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of MMA Institute, he brings a perfect 1-0 record to the cage. It's Blake Correa! Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla Amateur Lightweight Division. It is brought to you by our friends at Sand Screen Printing, and your referee is Michael Dolman.
As you can hear from the crowd, a lot of excitement behind Dustin Callender here facing off against Blake Correa. Very excited to get CageZilla 79 underway between these two fighters, as right now they're just sizing each other up. But, Liam, what are you expecting out of this first round?
I'm expecting a little bit of fireworks. I think Dustin wants to get forward pressure and moving forward, but Blake is very calm. He's very chill right now. Blake, I think we might see him start to have to warm up, get his distance, and then he'll start implementing some strategies.
Right now it's just a striking game. Leg shots being traded for the time being, spacing strikes as well from the hands. Dustin Callender going to whiff on that roundhouse kick. Right now everybody's just in a neutral space.
That was an amazing little check left hook as Blake tried to come in. These have been mostly range fires. The one time where Blake really tries to commit close distance, Dustin was ready with that counter boxing.
Both fighters still on their feet for the time being. It really looks like we're going to go all the way on striking to start us off while everybody still has the gas in the tank right now. It's a matter of endurance for sure. Even in these shorter bouts that we get out of the amateur side of things, Liam, I'm interested to see whether or not staying on the feet for this long could impact the wrestling ability of both of these fighters.
Right now, Dustin's getting confidence. He's landed twice. He knows he's getting clean connections. I'm seeing Blake. He's trying to figure. Oh, a beautiful right kick. He's starting to figure it out. Maybe a longer range kick game is how he can implement power without receiving it on the other side. Blake needs to figure out how he can get. Oh, with a left check. Okay, never mind. He's figured it out. I think he's figured it out.
Yeah, look at the shoulder movement from Dustin Callender. Both sides trading blows, but I gotta say, that strike, that roundhouse kick, hitting that arm is gonna start bruising up soon, and I really think that Blake Correa has beginning to find these openings, may be able to find the first takedown angle.
I think what you're seeing is Blake is the one who wants to control distance. He wants to find the pretty shots. He wants to do the more technical, clean work. Dustin has been the best when things are crashed, when things are a little bit ugly, when it's just colliding forces. I love that body shot. That's a great tactical decision. Go low, go high. All of a sudden, when the shoulders go low, a striker might think, I just need to protect my body, but then a wrestling move comes in. I don't like Dustin being willing to just take and defend off that head kick, though. You can knock somebody out through a hand in MMA. The gloves are small, the wrist bends. If he doesn't start returning on that high kick, he can get punished for it hard.
And that was 2 in a row there from Blake Correa.
Oh,
another attempt at a striking game here. Dustin Callender going wide with that haymaker. Now Blake trying to close the distance.
I wouldn't suggest Blake switch stances as he's closing range. I really love that straight line teep. It's setting that long range distance where he can just slide out of any of the real dangerous stuff and then hit these little mid-range shots. He's following up. His eyes are down lane, misses the knee, but hey, he needs to go back to swag. He needs to keep going forward, not get overconfident into a still game brawler like Dustin.
So Correa took a shot to the nose. He's got a little bit of blood trickling from his nose now, and it looks like it lit a fire under him. He's really started throwing punches and bunches after that.
He's also feeling when he's on the angle. Like that quick, I think 6-punch flurry. Dustin had his, a beautiful flying knee, a beautiful hooks exchanged. I think Blake is really figuring out, if I take these angles, I get free shots. I think he's building his confidence. And to your point, Chris, my actual worry here is he starts fighting and stops competing. If he starts trying to brawl with Dustin, I think Dustin's a little more game, and that wrestling mentality, that hard-nosed, forehead-to-forehead mentality could win in just wild exchanges. If Blake controls distance, controls angles, he can land clean shots and get out for free.
So, Liam, we talk about adrenaline dump a lot here, and with amateur fighters, it's something that they really have to figure out and get control of. Both of these fighters have a similar record, 1-1 and 1-0. How long does it take typically to learn something like that so you don't gas out after the first round?
This is where I'd say it's dependent on where you come from. These guys are coming from great gyms, and like Dustin has multiple kickboxing smoker. He's wrestled his whole life. He understands adrenaline dumps, and he's done it in both grappling and striking contexts. MMA Institute, he's gone hard rounds where people are basically fighting Blake in the gym, and he's way too calm now. I saw he was chilling down there in a deep squat right before the fight started, just kind of staring like nothing mattered. I think these guys are unique. I think this adrenaline dump right here, we don't got to worry. I think they're going to be able to hold the action for long.
To Chris's point earlier, I'm wondering how long it takes for one of these guys to try to take it to the ground.
I'm honestly really surprised Dustin hasn't yet. He's landed good shots, but let's be honest, I'm giving Blake that first round.
Absolutely, yeah. That flurry at the end there really secured it for me.
Now, the only thing is, I don't know if Dustin wants to go to the ground. Dustin told me in the back, jiu-jitsu doesn't entertain him. He's actually never done a jiu-jitsu tournament. He'll go, he loves rolling in the gym, but just something about jiu-jitsu hasn't. Oh, and Blake's the first to shoot on the wrestler. Good stuff, good control, lands a hook on the exits. I like that from Blake, even though he took some damage. He's starting to get a different threat going. Oh, Blake felt that. He's wincing. He's shooting now, almost trying just to get a break from the striking. Great takedown on the cage.
Brings those legs out, now is in a dominant position. Fight on the ground. Blake Correa doing a great job just forcing Dustin into an awkward situation.
So now this is the thing, like, hey, Dustin, have you learned really how to get good butterfly sweeps? Have you been somebody fully resisting your jiu-jitsu, your guard, trying to pass? Can you keep him in front of you? And I don't know. You haven't done it in a tournament yet. Do you really want to have a cage be the first one? He's doing the right stuff, but Blake is...
Wow.
Oh, there you are, answering the question. Off balance, quick wrestle, stand up. We're back to action.
Dustin Callender needs to get on the judges' books as well here, looking for an approach. Once again, Blake Correa, though, is using his composure to get back to what he was doing in round number 1, controlling that space. This time, though, he's the one being driven over to the side.
I love this. Right now, Dustin is stuffing that distance that Blake wants. Blake can't move backwards anymore. The cage is behind him. Dustin now just calmly pressing into space, getting him back there. Blake doesn't have answers when he's on the retreat as of now. I like that high knee. Moves him out to space, but watch, Dustin just eats it back up. Blake really needs to start taking that center again if he wants the strategy that was giving him round 1.
I think Blake maybe sensed just how precarious some of those takedowns were, and now he doesn't want to offer that leg via high kick as much as we saw in round number 1.
I agree too, but and also Chris, hey, I might be eating my words here. Blake, I think, is feeling that wrestling. Yeah. He started grappling. Now all of a sudden, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, and you know what? He's not doing a lot of setups for his striking either. He's not poking at all. He's not. Well, and then he does, but he's not throwing a lot of jabs, a lot of haymakers like that right there.
It's a lot of energy to do. I think he's also just moving around a lot. I think he wants to use the movement as a setup.
And he just showed you that big deep breath right there.
I see these distance weapons right here. He should not take a foot off the black. If he ever gets 2 feet on the white like he has right now, he needs to move until he has a foot on the black center cage logo. Oh, he gets wobbled.
Oh, he's still wobbly.
Good attempt. Dustin needs to just keep him down his sights.
His duck under and shot for a single or a double is really beautiful.
He also hits a quick little knee. It's fast. It's no setup. He just picks up the knee right as Dustin's head's low. Whether it's wrestling or boxing, I like this from Blake. Now we're not judges. We don't got the cards in front of us. To me, though, this is 1-1 going to a final round.
Beautiful. Beautiful way to start the night here at CageZilla 79, guys. This is what it's all about. This is the kind of show that we put on here. For all of you guys that are watching at home, if you have not made it out to the Salisbury Center yet, it is something you have to witness in person.
I think Dustin is right now really frustrated. Some jiu-jitsu dude just got a takedown on him.
It may be frustration, but at the same time, Blake Correa is feeling tired. I can tell you that right now, Liam, and this could be the decision maker going into round number 3. You say it's 1-1, but I do think it's been kind of a downhill slope so far for Blake Correa. Even after we saw that takedown attempt in round number 2, getting back to their feet, we saw Dustin Callender get that striking game totally in his favor, so he started controlling space.
I don't know what the corner of Correa is going to be calling for. I don't know if they're going to be asking for more takedowns, seeing how the energy tank kind of, if it goes wrong, you have to get up to the feet. All of a sudden, the dominant striker doesn't look so dominant. But maybe that's just the safer place from the power right now.
And you know, that's an interesting point, Liam. In the gym, how often is there like a natural competition between wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys? Is it just something that you see a lot?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
I mean, hey, you also have different attitudes about it. I think Dustin's attitude is it's a fighting mentality. It's, I'm going to wrestle. I don't necessarily want to be doing all this new stuff. I'm okay with it. Oh, and Dustin finally gets to use that wrestling experience. Ooh. Big shots on the stand-up, too. I love that. Hey, he can recycle that game plan.
And, you know, there's one thing that we haven't touched on yet. It's the chin of Blake Correa. This kid has taken some big shots so far tonight, and he's been wobbled, but he jumps right back into it.
Absolutely.
That being said, he's giving more and more opportunities for Dustin to wobble him. We saw that vulnerability, a sluggish kick caught early in this 3rd round.
Yeah, he's eating a lot of leg kicks. You can see a big raspberry coming up on his left leg, and it seems to be dropping that left hand a bit, which is opening him up for
He's
some
locking
big
up
shots.
the hands. He got him collar. He has good double unders. He's locking the hands for the body lock. Dustin, I'm wondering actually, maybe Blake really thinks that, hey, that wrestler's only been wrestling in an open mat. Let me put him against a cage and see what happens. He has a back trip right here if he can just step that left leg behind.
Yeah, some leg negotiations
right
going
there,
on.
there it is!
It's going to be a bodyweight takedown. Beautiful stuff. Blake Correa on top yet again.
That was a beautiful, like I called it, thankfully it happened. That left leg stepped behind, you bring the shoulders over the hips, the leg doesn't allow the hips to follow, and everything falls. I love this. This is settling down for Blake Correa. This is getting some control time now. In MMA, control is not always the best thing for you. Sometimes the best thing for you is some damage. If Blake really has had as hard of a round, only controls on the ground, Dustin stands up, Dustin can still steal this round back.
Dustin has that right outer arm, so Blake can't use that for striking potential. Maybe trying to rearrange his grip for the time being. We got a little duel of those right and left arms.
So, and as much as I talk about Dustin not wanting to do jiu-jitsu comps, he's right now doing a really good job retaining his guard, keeping his shins in front of his opponent. Blake now, though, on the back, starting to climb. He gets a little ground and pound. Dustin tries to use the space to create some motion. This is Blake showing you that new blue belt he earned, trying to climb the back, stay on top, but Dustin only needs to pull his left elbow through. Now he's back on top. Dustin's going to earn some damage on the way up. He's going to get some payback. Oh, Blake is turned around, eating chins from behind.
Let's go.
Beautiful right hooks there while rising. Dustin Callender back in the center of the ring, standing. This is where he wants to be.
Dustin should push. Dustin should push. That was so much energy by Blake, and Dustin needs to exclamate this round. He needs to show everybody, I'm the victor here. Oh, exchanges. Dustin just rolls out of the way. Deep breath, but they're in it for the last 10 seconds now. That clacker just went.
Beautiful. Beautiful jab. Right down Main Street for Blake Correa there.
Oh, an elbow counter on Dustin, but Dustin still hits some hooks. This can go either way. No man lost this bout tonight. No man lost this bout tonight. There will be a loss on a record, but this is beautiful experience in amateur MMA. They just went all 3 rounds. They had highs, they had lows. They touched every part of MMA game. I think this was an amazing experience for both. Nobody lost this fight.
And that's kind of the beauty of amateur to a degree, right? The fact that you have these two matching up, but they still have some left in the tank. I wish we could see more of these guys.
So I wouldn't have wanted to be in the cage with those guys, but I really wouldn't want to be a judge ringside right now because they have the tough job.
That round 3 ending, they both got tagged. Okay, we're here. Dustin is going to try to off balance. He goes a reverse X guard. He goes for the stand-up. Blake just cuts the corner. Blake is trying to open up. He goes for the far hook first, it looks like. Yeah, he goes for the far hook. Now he gets the bottom hook, arm trap. He's doing everything right here. Blake just makes the right move, gets the hips a little higher, and starts using that cage wall. For everybody out here, whenever there's a cage and you're back taking, it can either be your best friend or it can be a liability. I don't like my fighters having back control when their back is also on the wall, because it's just another floor that you can use to pin them and turn back into them, and Dustin did that beautifully.
So, of course, the burden is still going to lie on these judges to decide who's going to walk away with the victory here. But I guess, Liam, you being the expert out of the two of us in MMA, is there someone you would give an edge to here, or are you really just looking at the judges?
I think this is the penalty you have to pay sometimes for getting the takedown, but maybe only controlling it. To me, I think Dustin always prioritized damage. Blake sometimes tried to go through his controls. If he earned those positions, it'd be great, but he didn't. Let's throw it down to Chris. He has the decisions. Let's find out who our victor is tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise for both of these fighters, putting on a great show. That is what CageZilla is all about, and what a way to kick the night off. Thank you, gentlemen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, all 3 judges have scored this bout 29-28 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the blue corner, it's Blake Correa.
Congratulations to Blake Correa. Great job controlling that ground game, and that's probably what gave him the victory here.
I think Blake got rewarded for takedowns. He did an amazing job. This, again, nobody lost this fight tonight. The judges tonight, we're going to see if you have more dynamic MMA skills. If you're the one getting takedowns, even if you don't land damage, the judges might still give it to you. And also, hey, what wasn't seen is Blake landed a beautiful right elbow counter within that last 10 seconds of the round. Both guys in that last flurry landed. I think Blake did an amazing job just irking out that last 3rd round, which is what he needed. Now we're going to go to commercial. We'll have more amateur MMA and professional MMA here at the Salisbury Center. CageZilla 79 when we come back to these messages.
Like and subscribe to CageZilla.